Jewish people, that the Jewish men would wear the Jewish clan. Sorry, I've got my husband listening. That's so we'll get all the. Okay, ladies, let's go. So we finished Dalet last week, right?
Yeah, we're going to do Hey today. Bezrat Hashem. Chapter 5 in Tehillim. Hey. Okay. Today in Yerushalayim, a little bit later on, there's going to be a big prayer rally for, I don't exactly know what, for unity. I'm sorry that on YouTube I see that the computer's telling me that the it's not so stable, the connection. So, but you're recording this, Rebbetzin, right? So, okay, so you'll send me the recording because the YouTube doesn't seem to be happy today. Okay. If anybody's on YouTube, Sharon, Marlene, who was ever on YouTube, if you could text me now to tell me if it's still working. I see that my Zoom is also not so great. Yeah? Is that?
We're okay at the moment, I think. Everybody else okay?
Okay. I see the YouTube is not working great. Okay. I don't know. There's all kinds of shibushim today. There's no buses. Har Nof is like a fortress because we're very much at the close, and we're very much close to where they're going to have the prayer rally today, and so there are no buses that could come in, and no buses that could go out. So basically, it's like Shabbos here, lahavdil. I mean, there are a few cars, but no one's leaving. You know, you can't get out of the neighborhood. And you can't get into the neighborhood. So it's very quiet. All the kids got home from school early because they're hoping that 1 million people will come to the Knesset La'ir, just to give you, Jerusalem and Israel current events. They're hoping that a lot of people will come, and they're doing it by the Knesset La'ir. No cars could come in, only buses, and the buses end up, whenever they have this, YouTube is not working well. Thank you for telling me. Maybe I'll just turn it off and start again. Let's see if I can do that. Sorry. Anyway, so that's what's going on now here in Jerusalem. It's also a perfect day. And what can I say? We're getting ready for Shabbos. Everybody yesterday was very crowded here because everyone knew to do their shopping yesterday. So everybody was out yesterday. And today it's quiet. Okay, let's see if the YouTube will work now. I'm trying again. Okay, tell me later on, Shani, if it's working. And my computer tells me that it is working. So I hope the people who were on before can get on now. Okay, so also, there was a very big party in the south, in Dimona, because that's where one of the Chatzufim, one of the Shvuyim, was. He's from Dimona, Seged, his name is, and so they made the mayor of Dimona made a huge, a whole citywide event in the park, the main park in Dimona. And thousands and thousands and thousands of people came. And he said, he made a Kiddush Hashem, He said, thank you to Hashem. He said, Shema Yisrael, thank you, Shani. He said, Shema Yisrael. And he thanked Hashem, and he thanked all the people for praying for him. And he said that's what got him through everything. And so it was a big Kiddush Hashem. And he just said what we all know, and that is, we have to stay united even when there's no war. And we have to still hope that Hashem could have mercy on us and bring Mashiach, bring Geula, even though everything's such a big mess in the world. But we can get out of everything. Okay, so chapter 5 in Tehillim, that's what we're going to be learning today. Chapter 5 in Tehillim. And the Medrash tells us something very interesting about chapter 5, that Parak Hey. The Medrash says that there were 4 chapters of Tehillim that Hashem expected Adam Harishon to say. And instead, David HaMelech said them. 4 chapters in Tehillim that Adam Harishon was supposed to say. The first chapter is chapter 24. Lashem ha'aretz umlo'ah, that the world belongs to Hashem. Because Adam Harishon was the only one who saw that with the most clarity, because he was the first created being, and there was nobody but him and Hashem and all the creations. So he was supposed to say, Lashem ha'aretz umlo'ah, which is the Shir Shal Yom for Sunday. He was supposed to say that, he didn't. Then he was supposed to say Yud Tet, Hashemayim Mesaprim Kvod Kel, the heavens speak about Hashem's greatness, and the earth speaks about Hashem's greatness because he's the one who saw it first. And then he was supposed to say Mizmor Shel Yom HaShabbat. And actually there is a measure that says that he did say that, but that it was repeated by David HaMelech. And then our Tehillim, right now that we're going to be learning, Tehillim number 5, Parak Hey, Adam, it was such an important, powerful Tehillim that Hashem said Adam Harishon should have said it. Instead, David HaMelech said it, but Adam Harishon should have said it. Why? Let's see the first words and we'll see. Lama Naseach, El HaNechilos, Mizmor LaDavid. Sorry about my voice. And also sorry I can't look into the screens, it gives me a headache. There are many, it's a very unusual words here. Lama Naseach. So now Rav Hirsch, who's an expert in diktuk, he's the expert in linguistics. He says that the word Lamanatseach means to Hashem. This is like saying Lashem. And why does David HaMelech call him a Menatseach? Because a Menatseach means 2 things. First of all, it means he who is constantly victorious, and that's only Hashem. And the second meaning is he who is the conductor, director, producer, and that's also only Hashem. So even though on the level of the lower level of Pshat, David HaMelech is saying this to the Leviim, to the Levites who he taught the songs of this. But on a higher level, it means he's talking to Hashem. And he says, El HaNechilos. Now, what's a nachal or a nechila or a nachala? It's a very unusual word. We don't have it in Tehillim, except for here. And there's a discussion about what this means. So first, there are different midrashim. I'll tell you on the simplest English one, and in the Chilos, he says is a wind instrument. A wind instrument. Why? Because nechila also means a swarm of bees, and they make a certain whooshing sound. So the Radak always wants to make these unusual words in Tehillim. He always wants to say it must have been a musical instrument at the time of David HaMelech that we don't know exactly what it is, but it was some sort of a wind instrument, as opposed to a stringed instrument, right? And as opposed to a drum, because those are the different instruments that we have in Tehillim. And so this is one. And that's the simplest pshat. Whenever you have a word that you don't know, it's a musical instrument. And now the Mefarshim also say it means El HaNechilos means against those people who are arrogant, and they come on the Jewish people. They try to swarm on us like bees, because the Nechila is also a swarm of bees. Against those arrogant people who are trying to harm us, and they try to come on us, right? Or it's a certain nigun, it's a certain tune, that sounds like the hum of the bees. And the Medrash tells us that he's talking specifically, not just general enemies of the Jewish people, but sadly, he's talking about the same two people that he was talking about in Perek Gimel, which is Doeg and Achitophel. Those two very, very powerful people who convinced his son Avshalom to rebel against him. And we spoke about this, that Perek Gimel is such a heartbreaking Tehillim. It's really, according to the Gemara, now again, we're learning Tehillim, and you should be Tehillim scholars already. We're learning Tehillim for many, many years. And we know that the Tehillim isn't in any particular order in terms of when David Melch said them. In other words, Perek Aleph is not the first one that he composed, and Perek Bet is not the second he composed, and Perek 150 is not the last one that he composed. And there's a different order within the Tehillim. And Rabbi Nachman from Breslov, when he figured out the Tikkun HaKlali, he said he figured out, or he was given a gift, that he figured out 10 prakim of Tehillim, and those 10 in the Tikkun HaKlali are indeed a unit that is in order. The first one is chapter 16, and then 32, 41, 42, 59, etc. Those chapters are an internal order. Those 10 David Melch wrote together. That's the only 10 that we know. We don't know the other 140 chapters. We don't know, which is connected to which. But the Gemara does say that chapter 1 and chapter 2, which we learned together, chapter 1 and chapter 2 are one Tehillim, or one chapter. And that chapter 1 is all about don't go in the ways of bad people. And chapter 2 is about Mashiach. So chapter 3 is the first personal Tehillim that David HaMelech said. And that was about the heartbreak that he had, that his own two of his close mentors / colleagues / learning partners / scholars, two of them, Doeg Ha'edomi and Achitophel, they actually went and they rebelled against David, and they convinced his son to rebel against David. That's chapter 3, and it's the most personal. It's the first that he includes into him. In other words, it wasn't the first in his life, because David Melch began to write Tehillim at age 18. And this chapter 3 in Tehillim is all the way at the end of his life, right? Because he already had Avshalom, and he was already a grown man. But it's the first personal event that he wants us to deal with. And then now chapter 5 that we're learning, last week we talked about also chapter 4 that we learned last week is also talking about the same idea of great people going against King David. And chapter 5 is the same idea. And so you see that chapter 3 and 4 and 5, they're all about enemies. But chapter 3, Perek Gimel, is telling us about David HaMelech's personal enemy and his personal suffering in his own family. And now, Dalet Nehei, and we're going to continue on, is talking about the problems that he had with enemies, and even though they were internal, but they also could be external enemies, meaning it could be talking about also the nations of the world that are always trying to bother us, and our Yetzer Hara that's always trying to bother us, and all of that. Okay, so that's a little bit of an introduction. And Mizmor David, I don't know, Mizmor David means that David HaMelech began to say this Perek of Tehillim, and as he began to say it, he became more and more entrenched in a deeper level of Ruach HaKodesh. The more he spoke, the more his Ruach HaKodesh kicked in. Okay. Amarai Hazina Hashem, Bina Hagigi. Now you're going to see that many of these psukim that we're going to learn now are the pattern that we've already learned, and that is that they repeat, right? The pasuk repeats itself. And it repeats because, who remembers? Because David HaMelech wants us to, for emphasis, he wants to emphasize it. And because he says it has to be, it's a lesson that he really wants us to work on hard. So we'll repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until we get it inside of us. And listen to what he says here. And we're allowed to say this. We can say this whenever you want to talk to Hashem. Again, the Medrash says that Adam Harishon should have said this when in his first conversation with God. He should have said these words. When he was confused, when he didn't know what to do, should he eat from that fruit? Should he not eat from the fruit? Then after he ate from the fruit, he should have approached Hashem directly and said these words. Instead, they had to wait 1,000 and change years till David HaMelech came. More than that, 3,000. Amarai Hazina Hashem. Listen to my words, Hashem. Bina Hagigi. And when I can't talk, read my mind. Do you ever wish that people could read your mind? We're very happy a lot of times when people cannot read our minds. Most of the time, we would not want people to read our minds. However, sometimes, you wish that someone could read your mind. Why? Because you can't verbalize for whatever the reasons, whether you're embarrassed, whether you can't say it because it's Lashon Hara, whether you don't want to hurt the other person. But sometimes we wish that people could read our minds and could just know what we're going through and how we feel. We wish that. Because as soon as we could read another person's mind, and we could be in their mind and be in their place, then all of our judgments would evaporate and all of our annoyances would evaporate once we understand another person. But we don't understand each other because we're all very PC and we don't really express ourselves. We're ashamed to express ourselves. We feel guilty. All of those things. We feel crazy. All of those things. And we don't describe and express ourselves. But we wish to hear, we wish people could understand. So here, there's two levels here. Amarai, when I could speak, Omer, Amira, that means a word, I could speak. So Amarai Ha'azina, when I can speak, I'm asking Hashem, listen to my words. But when I can speak, when I cannot speak, Bina Hagigi, Higayon, Hagigi means my thoughts, like we say every single day. You the Rason Imreifi, the Hegyon Libi Lefanecha. We say at the end of Shmona Esrei. You the Rason Imreifi, may my words find favor in your eyes. The Hegyon, and then my thoughts should also find favor in your eyes. So Hagigi, Higayon, that means thinking. So Bina, Hagigi means listen, understand. Bina means lahavin, understand. Hagigi, my thoughts. Read my mind. Read my mind. You know, it's a good thing to be able to tell people. I tell this to people all the time. And I can't say something. I say, just read my mind. So, but we're asking Hashem to listen to us. That means that we're trying to open up the door to communication. You know, that there, you know, before you, if you want to have constructive communication with somebody, then you might be ready to talk, but they might not be in a place to listen, or they might not be in a place to talk. So before you embark on any conversation, I'll give you an interesting tip. Say to the person, is now a good time to talk? Can we talk now? Do you have a minute for me? I want to ask you something. Is it a good time? And if they say no, then you have to respect that, because it means that they're not ready to talk to you. They're not ready to listen to you, or maybe their minds, or maybe they're busy or whatever. And if they say no, say, so tell me, when can we sit down and talk? Try to make an appointment with that person. But we have to respect each other's, on a certain level, we have to respect each other's boundaries and needs. So when I can talk to you, Hashem, listen to me. And when I can't talk to you, Hashem, then listen to my brain. Listen to my heart. Read my mind. And now it's even further than that. He says, the next thing he says is, Hakshiva lekol shavi'i. Now listen, if I can't talk to you, maybe I'm just thinking things and read my mind. But sometimes I'm not even in a place of thinking. I'm just, Oh, krächzen. You know what's a krächz? A deep sigh. So sometimes we can't even think something through. We're just so emotional or so bogged down or whatever. And so David Melch says, and if you can't listen to my voice because I can't speak, if I can speak, listen to my voice. If I can't speak, but I can think, listen to my thoughts. And if I can only make sounds, hakshiva lekol shavi, listen to the sound of my sighing, of my crying, of my krechsing, of my shav'ah. The word shav'ah isn't a word that we, you might not know that word shav'ah. It's a very important word to know. Shav'ah means to beseech, to want something so deeply, to somehow be like your whole entire entity is yearning for something. That's called a shav'ah. And and it says that Hashem listened in Mitzrayim. A lot of times when we were in Egypt, we couldn't cry out, we couldn't talk, we were too tired to do anything. But Hashem listened to our Shabbatam, Shabbatenu Kabel. He listened to our Shav'ah, our like deepest longing. That's how I would translate Shav'ah, a deep longing. So Hakshiva, pay attention, turn your attention, Hashem, the call to the sound of Shav'i, of my longing for you. Malki Velokai, and because you're my Melech, you're my King, and you're my God. Kielecha et palal, because all I'm doing is turning to you. I'm praying to you. I'm praying to you. Now, remember that the Medrash tells us that Adam Harishon was supposed to say this. And David HaMelech received it as a gift from, on a certain level. Remember, we know the Medrash that Adam Harishon gave David HaMelech his life, remember? Because Hashem showed Adam Harishon all the neshamas that ever would be coming out of him. Because Adam Harishon is the father of all humanity, Adam and Chava. So Hashem showed him all the neshamas, every neshama that would ever be born. And Adam Harishon, when he saw the neshama of David HaMelech, which was so different, so unique, so sparkly, so magnificent, so elevated, he didn't know, I don't have enough adjectives for it. So Adam Harishon picked out that neshama and he said to Hashem, tell me about that one. Tell me about that neshama. Tell me about that neshama, about that soul. And so Hashem said, that soul only has 3 hours to live in a body. So Adam Harishon said, can I give that soul years from my life, that soul should have life? Now, clearly, when Adam Harishon, the Medrash tells us this, if Hashem spoke to Adam Harishon and showed him the soul of David HaMelech, and then he showed him, he said he only has 3 hours, and Adam Harishon saw that soul is the most spectacular of all of his descendants. I'm sure the Medrash doesn't tell us, did Adam Harishon ask why, what's wrong, don't you need him? That conversation we don't hear. All we hear is in the Medrash, Adam Harishon said, is time a gift? Can I give him my life? Can I give him years of my life? Hashem said, yes. Adam Harishon said, how many years will be the years in those days when he's going to come into the world? Hashem said 70. Therefore, Adam Harishon said, okay, please take 7 years from his life and give it to that neshama. Adam Harishon lived 930 years. He was supposed to live 1,000 years, and when he was supposed to live 1,000 years, which meant that he was supposed to really live for eternity, but when after the sin, he was supposed to still live 1,000, but he lived only 930, and the extra 70 went to King David, who lived exactly 70 years. So when the Medrash says that Adam Harishon was supposed to say these 4 Tehillim, and David HaMelech said them, it's okay because they were attached. They were very attached, more than we're attached to Adam Harishon. David HaMelech was attached to Adam Harishon. Okay, so he says like this, and David HaMelech is giving now a reason. Whenever you have the word ki, chaf yud, ki, right? So ki, And Rashi tells us in Bereshis that ki has four meanings to it. One of the meanings of ki is because. In other words, I'm giving a reason. I'm giving you a reason, Hashem, why you should fulfill the request I just made. And I will tell you that plan or that strategy, the Baal Shem HaKadosh teaches, Rabbi Nachman teaches, and the tzaddikim all teach that when you ask Hashem for something, if you can try to convince him with an argument, then your bakasha is stronger. For example, if you say, this is what the tzaddikim say. If you say you want to, let's say you need to move to have a bigger apartment or a bigger house. So you say to Hashem, but you have to mean it and you have to fulfill it. You say, Hashem, I can't have guests in this house. It's too small, it's too cramped because it's so small and cramped, it's too messy. But if you give me a big house, I'll invite guests. There's no room for a sukkah here. What's a house for? A house is for the mitzvot of Hachnasat Orchim, for a sukkah. Doesn't mean you have to buy the house. You could even rent a house. But you need a place to live. When you need a place to live, you say to Hashem, I'm going to use that place to do mitzvot. Let's say you have a car, and I have a friend who does a lot of mitzvot with her car, and her car is like held together with scotch tape here in the Yerushalayim Record in Eretz Yisrael. And I always say to her, your car, you do mitzvot, your car will continue. It'll last until you decide that you want or you can get another car. But if you do mitzvot with your property, then you have an opportunity to say to Hashem, give me this because I'm going to use it for you. Okay, I'm going to be honest because and with Hashem you can only be honest. I'm also going to use it for me. But you know what? If I have more space, I'll feel happier. I'll feel more settled. I'll be able to daven. I won't be so tarud, etc., etc. So now, what does David Melch say? He says, listen to me, 3 levels of listen to me. Ki elecha et palal, because I'm only turning to you, Hashem. I only pray to you. And all the Mefarshim say on this, that David HaMelech was able to say this with a completely honestly, with a clear mind. I trust only you, Hashem. I'm only trusting you. I'm only turning to you. I don't trust people. I don't rely on people. And I know that whatever effort I'm making is just efforts to keep, because I want to fulfill the mitzvah of making effort. But I'm turning towards you, Hashem. And because I'm only turning towards you, then you have to help me because I have nobody else. I have nothing else. I have no one else, nothing else, only you. So, you're the one who has to help me. That's what it means, that I'm praying to you, Hashem, and only to you. And therefore you have on a certain level, an obligation to help me. Because otherwise, how else? What else is there if I only rely on you? Now, me and you, we're regular people. We're not on David HaMelech's level at all. But we can at least say these words and think about it and say, Hashem, I am turning towards you. It's true that I also call the doctor and the bank and the hairdresser and the supermarket and to get all of my needs done, whatever. But really, I have to re-infuse myself with Ki elecha et palal. I'm davening to you. It's to you that I pray. It's to you that I trust. It's to you that I realize that everything is to you, and everything is from you, and everything is you. You know that I heard this week one of the shuyim, one of the hostages who was Baruch Hashem released. So he said like this. He said that his mother told him this story. Did you hear this? His mother told him that she got a phone call from one of the mechablim when he was still in Chevy, when this man was still in the tunnels and the kid captured by the evil. So one of them called his mother and said to her, if you ever want to see your son again, you have to protest the Israeli government and you have to go to The Hague and you have to do this, you have to do more, you have to scream and yell, and if you ever want to see your son again. And he was trying to intimidate her and frighten her. And she had the presence of mind. Now, these are people, I don't know them personally, but so many of these people, you could walk it, you could be sitting on the bus next to somebody and have no idea the depth of their soul. So this guy was, now listen, her son was in Chevy. She didn't know if he is alive, is he not alive, and what conditions and all of that. And it's 2 years already. And the psychological terror is horrible. So, but she had the presence of mind to say, my son is not in your hands. My son is in the hands of the creator of the universe. She said to the Mechabel, to this Arab, to this Muslim, to this terrorist. And then she said, and you know what? You are also in the hands of the creator of the universe. And that's what I believe. And I'm not afraid of you. And so the Mechabel, the terrorist, was quiet for a second. This is what she said. Then he said to her, Kol hakavod geveret, and he hung up. Kol hakavod in Hebrew means, you're right, and he hung up. You're right, lady, and he hung up. And thank you, Hashem, her son is now out, and she was able to tell the story to him, and he was the one who was telling it now to us. Now, of course, she couldn't tell that while he was still in the dungeons there, because it would have endangered his life. But when we trust Hashem, and these are people, I'm telling you, you wouldn't think that these people are, they don't look Haredi. Not that Haredi means anything, but they don't look observant. Not that observant means anything. They look like regular, you can't imagine the depth of emunah, bitachon, of belief in God and trust in God, that they were able to get through these few years of torture. Because I'm talking to you. I'm praying to you, Hashem. Hashem, boker tishma koli. In the morning, Hashem, listen to my voice. Boker erach lecha va'atzapeh. In the morning, I pray to you. I say shacharis va'atzapeh, and then I wait expectantly. And let's talk about this pasuk for a second, because we all know that we have 3 times a day that we say formal prayers, and then all the rest of the day we're saying informal prayers. So David HaMelech is saying to us like this. He's saying, I daven shacharis. Early in the morning I get up and I pray to Hashem. When it's the time of love for the Jewish people and judgment for the evil people. This is what the Medrash says here. Baboker ani kareh lecha shehu eitz mishpat larashaim. Like it says a pasuk in Tehillim, that the morning, that when you get up in the morning, that's a time of judgment for evil people, because every morning they get up and do bad, and it's a time of loving kindness for good people. So I'm going to cry to you at Hashem, and I'm going to cry to you in Dafka in the morning, when you're making that distinction between good and evil. That's why the first thing we say in the morning, you're in bed, you're half asleep, you're half awake, the alarm goes off, you open with one eye, you see what time it is, and you say right away, Moda ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayim. The first words that come out of a Jew's mouth are, I thank you, Hashem, eternal King, that you restored my soul back to me. Your greatness and your emunah, your faithfulness is eternal. First thing we say. And half the time we say Modani with literally we don't know. We're still asleep. Is it nighttime? Is it daytime? Whatever, only because the alarm wakes us up that we but the first thing we do is we turn our mind to God. The first thing. Now, if you're still a young mother and you're getting up many times in the night for the kids, so you can, you say Modani. I don't know when you say it. You could say it I don't remember in those days. Did I used to say Modani in the middle of the night? I don't think so. I think when you get up for your morning day. But everybody else who's not dealing with babies, so you say Modani first thought. And right away, we turn our mind to godliness and to goodness. And the Medrash tells us that that's when Hashem judges the world for a second. And we get judged right away good. And the Mefarshim say such a very cute thing. I want to tell you who says it. It's very cute. So he says that in the morning, if you want to get an appointment with a king, let's say you wanted to get an appointment this morning with President Trump. Now it's already here in Israel, it's 12:39, 22:01 in the afternoon, and by you it's 22:11, right? And did you change the clock? We changed our clocks. Oh, I forgot to tell you that. Oh, what a miracle that we're on the right time. I forgot to tell you, 1 year we were not in the same time frame. Did you know that? Ever since that we changed our clocks?
Yeah, of course. I watch it, I watch it.
1 second. So what time are you now?
We're 22:11. We're still the same. We changed our clocks as well on Master Shops.
Oh, you also did. Look at that. Wow. You change it always when we change it?
No. Sometimes there's a week or two in between.
Right. I remember one time it was I forgot what happened. Either I was on and you were not on, or I wasn't on and you called me. Where are you? 1 year there was a discrepancy. Anyway, so let's say you get up in the morning, you decide you want to go meet Prince, what's his name, your king over there, or you want to meet President Trump. So you quickly send an email. I want to meet you. You think they're going to send you back? Okay, come in 10 minutes. No, they're going to send you, get online, and maybe in a few years from now you can get an appointment, whatever. Yeah, it's already again something just happened to the YouTube. I'm sorry. So but here can you go check again, see if the YouTube is off, Shani, if you don't mind, and so then I'll just close it and start it again. So when he says not like a basar vadam, Hashem is not like a regular king. A regular king, a regular prime minister, you have to get an appointment and they have to check you out. They have to check your security, they have to check your whatever. Here, Hashem says, you want to talk to me? Get up in the morning. First thing in the morning, the connection is immediate. The connection is instantaneous. So now in the morning is the best time to daven. For a woman, we know that we have halachas. A woman is supposed to daven shacharis and mincha. That's what a woman is supposed to be doing. And 1 second, just a second. A woman has to daven shacharis. Best time in the morning is best time in the world is to daven shacharis, and then mincha later on in the day. And then at night, Arvin is not working. Okay. And then at night, let's do this. And then at night, okay, let me try again. And then at night, Arvit, most women do not have an Arvit, but many women do. And I know that there were big tzaddikim who told their wives it's because it's Avin Marav, they should. And so they did. And they do. So, but Chazal tell us like this. Chazal tell us that what are the special times of Shacharis and Mincha? Why are they so special? Okay, so this is part 2. Sorry that it kept going off. This is still Tehillim 5, chapter 5. And we're just, because YouTube kept going off. So why is the morning so important? Now I'm going to tell you something. You might be annoyed with me, but I'm going to tell you that the earlier in the morning you daven, the better. In fact, if you could get up and daven by the nates, that's the best. So now here in Eretz Israel, last week it was so easy because last week the nates was at 10 to 7 or 6:45 in the morning. I guess I don't know how it is by you, but at 6:45 in the morning means you could get up. If you got up at 6, you could make the nates, because the nates means Shemona Esrei by the nates, and you have a leeway of 10 minutes either way. So you have a lot of leeway, because we don't really know what means nates. We don't exactly know what time the nates is. Is it when we can see the sun? Is it when the calendar tells you the nates? Is it when the whatever? The nates means the sunrise. And the best time.
Our sunrise was 10 to 7 this morning.
Even with the clock being changed?
Yeah.
That means last week it was 10 to 8?
It's very difficult here in the winter for sometimes people to daven before work and everything. Yeah,
So
we'll
you
go
mean
to a time
that
where our nates is the earliest time before sunrise of is the earliest time is 20 to 6 for tefillin, and sunrise is at 6:49. The latest shema is at 8:40. Sorry, yeah. No, the latest shema, according to the Gra, is at 9:15, and latest shachris is at 10:20.
Well, anyway, here, but anyway, so now 1 second. So now regular nates by you now with the new
10
clock
to
is 10 to 7? So that's great. You can get up at 6 o'clock and daven by Shemona Esrei by the nates. You're ready by 10 to 7. That's interesting. Anyway, Chazal tell us like this. The time between midnight and dawn is very precious. Then between dawn and sunrise is very precious. Between dawn and sunrise, you're already allowed to daven Shacharis. Between midnight and dawn, you cannot yet daven Shacharis. But it's a very precious time of learning and Hisbodedus and Tehillim and talking to Hashem. And now most of us are sleeping. That's exactly when we go to sleep. Midnight until, right? But really, the old Breslov schedule, and even to this day, Breslovers, their schedule is they go straight to sleep as soon as it gets dark, whatever time dark is, whatever time it's winter and summer, as soon as it gets dark, they go to sleep. And they get up 6 hours later and start their day. So if it's 6 o'clock, gets dark, they get up at midnight, they start their day. If it's 9 o'clock at night, they get up at 3 in the morning and start their day. And the starting of the day means he's saying the bracha and learning a little bit and davening and doing his bonus and then starting Shabbos. But just a quick halacha for people who want to know this. Let's say you do that. Let's say you get up in the middle of the night and you decide you want to start your day. The first thing you do is you wash Netilat Yadayim and you say all the morning blessings even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning. If you're deciding to start your day, and I'm going to tell you something even more shocking. Let's say you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're going to go back to sleep again at 4 o'clock. You're still allowed to say morning blessings. If you get up 3 o'clock in the morning and you see that you're awake and you're going to putter around the kitchen or you're going to whatever, look on your phone or whatever, you're allowed to say morning blessings, even though you might fall asleep again. And then if you do fall asleep, you do not repeat the morning blessings when you get up that morning. But you're allowed to say morning blessings in the middle of the night, because the middle of the night from midnight until dawn and then until sunrise is very, very precious. That's when David HaMelech used to do his best learning and his best davening. And that's when he wrote and he recorded most of his chapters of Tehillim. Was from midnight until dawn, so Hashem Boker Tishma Koli. In the morning, please listen to my voice. Boker, in the morning again, Erach Lecha, I'm going to set up my prayer to you. I'm going to arrange my prayer to you. Vatzapeh, and then I'm going to trust you. I'm going to trust that you're going to answer me. Now, when it says Aroch Lecha, it means I'm going to say the actual prayers that are written in the Siddur, because it means I'm arranging my prayers in an orderly fashion, not just like this, and not just Hisbodedus, but I'm saying the actual Shachris. And I'm asking you to listen to me, and I trust that you will. Now, I'm going to tell you something now that's a big, big argument in the Jewish world right now. And that's the concept of deserving. Do I deserve that Hashem should give me all the requests that I'm asking him for? And should I feel like I don't deserve it? Or should I say, nobody deserves anything, but I trust you're going to give me anyway, because everything is a gift from you, Hashem. The second is correct. You're supposed to say, I don't know if I deserve, I don't know what I deserve, I don't know anything about how Hashem makes the cheshbon, the calculation in Shemayim. But one thing I know is that I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. I don't know if I could say that. I'm trying to try my best. I don't know if I can say that either. But I'm trying to try my best. That I can say. I wish I was trying to try my best. I could say. And only Hashem knows my circumstances. And therefore I'm going to trust him. I'm going to trust you, Hashem, that you're going to help me with whatever I want. And I'm not going to start judging myself and saying, I don't deserve it. How dare I ask this of you and all of that. Yeah, I see that every time this happens, I see that the internet's going off. It's because I think of this whatever, something's going on. Okay, let's hope that see that again. Sorry. I wonder if it's because of this Hafganah, this thing that the internet's a little bit crazy. Because the whole city is a little bit on edge. Today they arrested some guy who works in the gas station. You know the gas station when you leave the city? There's a gas station. When you're leaving the city, it's on your right side. There's a few gas stations there. So they arrested some guy. He's right there in the Knesset La'ir, and there's going to be 1 million people there, and he's a Hamasnik. So they arrested him yesterday. Baruch Hashem. Kilo el chafetz resha ata, lo yigur chara. Hashem, you're not a God who loves evil. And evil can't even dwell with you. Evil can't even be with you. And now David HaMelech is going to talk about he's going to talk about all the bad people and Hashem's opinion of them. Now the problem is like this. None of us think that we're bad. Everyone rationalizes our behavior. None of us would consider ourselves evil. I don't think. I don't know. We all are, we all think that we're good. And thanks, Shani. And now there's a whole, I'm sure you saw this last week. It's very sad that there's a lot of, this always happens whenever Mashiach is about to come. I've been noticing this already for 25 years. Whenever Mashiach is about to come, there's some kind of a political upheaval or some kind of an upheaval within the Jewish world, and people start fighting. And once people start fighting, that's bad news for the Jews. And so now there's a lot of internal fighting. There's one guy, I don't know who he is and what his motivation is. It's okay, Geraldine, have a great Shabbos. But he decided his life's work is going to be to say Lashon Hara about my particular rabbi. That's what this one guy, and he only has a thing called TikTok. He's on a thing called TikTok. And he has a channel on TikTok. And every day he brings Lashon Hara. Lies, things that I can say they're so silly because I see what he says. And I know that they're lies. But this guy has dedicated his life currently to schmearing, to trying to say Lashon Hara about my rabbi. There's another guy on TikTok who is dedicating his life to schmearing the Zohar. Every lecture he talks about is the Zohar isn't from Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And this guy, the second guy, the Zohar guy, the anti-Zohar guy, he calls himself a rabbi and he gives shiurim. But everything is all dedicated to trying to make anyone who learns anything in the mystical world, in the Jewish mystical world, tell them that they're all crazy, and that's his whole life. His brother, actually, this guy's brother got on, and he said, listen, his brother is not like that. His brother's a Rav, and he gives shiurim that are kosher. And his brother said, listen, we're brothers, like I disagree with him, but I see him once a month at my mother's house. So whenever there's a very, very strong, this is what I'm noticing, whenever there's a very strong possibility of redemption coming, The other side makes a machlokas. He makes some kind of lashon hara, makes some kind of motzi shema, some kind of gossip, some kind of rumors, some kind of to knock off the possibility of our having a redemption. I hope this time hope it's not going to happen. But so here, Hashem David Melch says, and remember that our Adam Harishon was supposed to say this. This is heavenly. This is like from the first person who ever lived and who knows God. He says, Ki lo el chafetz resha ata. You don't like wickedness. Lo yigur chara. Not only that, but wickedness is like the opposite of you. It can't dwell with you. It can't be with you. It can't, it's like a magnet. You know, the opposite poles of a magnet, or the same poles, I forgot already. I didn't play with a magnet in a long time. It pushes itself away. Evil pushes itself away. It can't attach on to Hashem. Now, these two people that I just told you about, the guy who decides that he's spending his whole life saying Lashon Hara about great rabbis, and the guy who's spending his whole life saying Lashon Hara about the Zohar, they think they're good people. They don't think they're evil. Most people don't think about themselves that they're evil. But the people who are evil are evil. And those people are not with Hashem. And they could say Baruch Hashem from today till tomorrow. And they could say, yeah, I see this whole thing with the internet is not working today. Okay, so I'm not going to try anymore with this. We're going to just say thank you, Hashem. And they don't think that they're evil. And they think they're L'Shem Shamayim. Korach thought he was L'Shem Shamayim. Datan v'Aviram thought they were L'Shem Shamayim. Doeg and Achitophel thought they were L'Shem Shamayim. We have to pray every single second that we should be really good, that Hashem shouldn't. And if someone comes and says to you something of criticism, you have to evaluate it and see, maybe they're right. My timing is so off. Okay. Lo yityetzu, one more pasuk. Lo yityetzu ha'olim leneged einecha, saneta kol polei avon. Not just that, but Hashem, you despise, and this is a very strong word. And when David Melch uses it in Tehillim, he uses it a few times in Tehillim. You despise those who do wrong, and those people who are mockers and jokesters, right? Hololim is an interesting thing about the word hololim. In English, the word whole, you could spell it W-H-O-L-E, it means complete. You could spell it H-O-L-E, it means a hole in the ground, right? So it sounds the same, but it's two different things. The word hololim, Hallel, means to praise Hashem, to sing praises of Hashem. But hololut means making light of everything, taking nothing seriously. So it's the same, sounds the same letters, but it's the exact opposite. And so, lo yityetzu ha'olim leneged einecha, those people who are jokesters, nothing is serious with them. They don't take anything seriously. They laugh their way. I don't mean that they're in good moods. I mean people who just make fun of everything. They just make fun of everything that's holy. They make fun of you. I remember one time when I was in college, okay, a million years ago, it was the summertime and I was dressed properly. And actually one of my professors said to me, nowadays I could have sued him or got him fired. He said, "Aren't you hot in that outfit?" Like, it was a hot day, but so what? So I was wearing, Jewish women know how to dress to be comfortable and yet to be a tzanua. And I couldn't believe he said such a thing. Like he was making fun of modesty. So that's called a holel. Holelus. Holelus means making fun of good things. When you're trying to you're trying to say, that you're trying to say words of morality and people make fun of you. That's called holim. Those people won't have continued existence. And Hashem hates it. Simple. If you want to know what Hashem loves goodness, and Hashem hates evil. Simple. So we have to be on Hashem's good side and be good. And we are. We're very good. We're very, very good people. We try our best to be good people. Ezrat Hashem. Okay, I see all the internet. I see on my computer. Everything's popping off. So let's hope that this share, you heard it. Let me say hi to everybody. Hi, Rebbetzin Zav, and hi, Emma, and hi, Geraldine, and hi, Liz.
Hi.
Hi, Masha, Flora, and hi,
There is a
Nomi.
problem. There is a problem with the Microsoft for everyone in the world. There's a general problem.
Okay. So I don't know.
Yes, I heard that as well.
All we're going to need is the message that Mashiach's here, so it doesn't have to be too clear.
It doesn't have to be too long. You get the message, and hi, Shani, thanks for helping, Shani. And hi, Rebecca, and hi, Shella, and hi, Shulamit, and hi, Sarla, and Sipor, and Yudapatia, and Zoom user, whoever you are. And all the people on YouTube that were on and off and on, they kept getting back on and off. And sorry to all the YouTube people, I don't know. Maybe I don't know how to put this onto YouTube. You know how to do that. 1 second. You used to put this onto YouTube, onto the channel. So maybe put it onto your channel. And then send it to me and I can put it on. Have a good day, everybody. Good Shabbos.
Thank you so much. Good Shabbos. Thank you. It was beautiful.
Thank you. Good
Thank
Shabbos
you.
to everybody.
Thank you,
Thank
Shabbat
you.
Shalom.
Make a
Thank you.
beautiful
Shalom.
day.
I don't know what time I don't know what time the tefillah thing is today. But if you could find out what time that is and you can tune in and say Tehillim while they're saying Tehillim, that would be very good.
Okay. I'll put it on the group.
You could send
I'll
them
check
the
and I'll put it out.
Yeah,
And
right,
also,
exactly.
yeah, and if anybody wants 8 p.m. UK time, 10 p.m. tonight, Rebbetzin Gottlieb will be speaking about number often.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Make a beautiful
great.
day.
Okay, good Shabbos, everybody.
Good Shabbos.